I'm here with Sean Wilson, owner of Fullsteam Brewery. So, I guess let's start with who in their right mind would start a brewery? I mean, how did you?
Lots of people these days. Who
Well, yeah,
isn't?
these
My
days-
dentist wants to start a brewery.
These days, but I mean, Fullsteam started a little bit before these days.
Yeah, a little bit. It's interesting how we're considered a brewery that's been around for a little while, and I knew that was going to happen with all the breweries opening up in the last couple of years, but it surprised me that it took just a couple years to be considered, around for a while.
Right.
And it's all, of course, relative when you have breweries like Highland celebrating their 20th and, stalwarts like Uli and Weeping Radish and all of that. I mean,
Right.
Foothills is 2004 they opened, so this is their 10th year as well. And but yeah, we started in 2010.
Okay. So 4 years is fairly young for a brewery, but you guys have done some amazing things. You've expanded a great deal over your original size.
Yes, but I feel good about our expansion. I think it's been a nice kind of gradual pace to where we've expanded at the pace that we're comfortable with. Nothing too crazy. It's good for us. It just works for us. Our kind of expansion and our growth isn't as quick as some other breweries that are just really in high growth mode. But I feel like our gradual expansion
Right.
allows us to dial in our recipes, figure out what we're doing, see what customers want, and make sure that we stay true to our mission.
And when you say mission, what is your mission? I mean, I know you use a lot of local ingredients. You use a lot of non-traditional ingredients. I mean, your mantra is plow to pint.
Yeah. So our whole exploration is what does it mean to be a Southern brewery, and how can we reflect the South in as a sense of place in the beer that we make. So we use the farm and food traditions of the South to influence our beers and to basically be the ingredients in our beer making.
Okay.
And it's an interesting challenge because like a beer like Carver, it's Chris's vision on that was to, and I'm sure you.
It's what I'm drinking now.
Yeah. It's to not pie spice it up. It's to not go the typical direction of a pumpkin pie beer,
Right.
but to actually let you taste the nuances of the sweet potato through not including something.
I think that was an excellent choice. I mean, spices can overwhelm a beer easily.
Yeah.
They're appropriate, of course, in some beers.
Right,
but-
right. Like the seasonal beer series, I was just having a half pint of the Farrington Spring. So we do a quarterly beer series for Farrington, and this is a spice double in which we use culinary spices. We use a lot of spices. The summer basil is
Right.
an herb, and the Farrington Spring has coriander and turmeric and lemongrass in it. But the absence of something there, I think, is in a way kind of Southern in and of itself. By just pulling back and being a little bit more restrained, we allow food to take center stage and for beer to complement it.
Right.
And I think as there's this wave of breweries opening, I think there's a tendency sometimes for breweries to try to stand out by doing more and getting,
Right.
really
Super
intense.
IPA.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
very flavorful. And those are fun. But in our quest to explore what it means to be a Southern brewery, I think one of the things that we're realizing is that making a beverage that's in deference to food and is comfortable pulling back a little bit, taking a back seat to food, to conversation, is good. It's a good thing.
Right.
It's good for the region.
Something to complement rather than overwhelm.
Yeah. I have this theory about beers for conversation and beers for introspection. And the beers that I like are beers for conversation. Carver, Beasley's, we're just sitting around having a beer, talking about
Right.
whatever our day is, and well, of course we're talking about beer, but beers for introspection, they're fun too, but they're beers where the focus is solely on the beer itself. You're like, it's kind of a more selfish experience. It's you and the beer. You're like, oh my God, wow, what's going on here? And it kind of pulls away from conversation. Now, granted, beer geeks, when they get together, can make community out of these introspective beers because you're all sitting around chatting about them and all. But in general, I favor beers for conversation. It's just kind of in that southern...
sitting on the porch, hanging out.
Yeah, without getting too Cracker Barrel about it all,
Right.
We don't have like rocking porches out front there.
Or the obnoxious store.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet. You're working on that.
Once I nail down that whole triangle, that pyramid thing, and I get down to one little stick, then I'm totally doing it. But I haven't mastered that yet, and I don't want to embarrass myself in front of customers.
Right. Of course not. Yeah.
I'm down to 7.
Can be difficult.
It says moron.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna bring a bunch of those and place them all around your.
No, you want to hear a true story? It's a story about the South. I was at a Cracker Barrel.
I'm sorry.
Hey, no, I'm here to entertain.
No offense to Cracker Barrel fans out there.
Oh no, I want to offend Cracker Barrel fans. If you're a Cracker Barrel fan, you're going down. I was at a Cracker Barrel in Virginia Beach 20 years ago, and I was just hanging out with a friend, and I watched this kid play the triangle game thing, where you jump the sticks and all that, and the pegs, and he completely boffed it, and his parents weren't really paying attention to him. Right, he had 4 left or whatever, and he took them away quietly, and he had one left. He's like, hey, look, Mom, I did it. And that made me really sad.
Yeah.
There's a whole, there's so many layers in that story. I just went through that whole time as I was eating my my pancakes. Wow. This kid is
the psychological drama.
Oh, no. Cracker Barrel, right?
Yeah.
But back to beer. I talk about Cracker Barrel some because by not doing overwhelming spices and it's easy to make. It would be easy to make this Southern concept a little gimmicky, right? To go over the top, and I call it. I've said since we started this concept, and I was writing a business plan. I talk about avoiding inching towards Cracker Barrel. Again, no disrespect to Cracker Barrel, but you're going down, Cracker Barrel fan.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, you got to walk through a store to get there to eat. I mean, it's like they have rocking chairs, you get to sit on, and giant checkerboard sets that have a price tag on the side. I mean, it's all.
But don't you
kind
think,
of,
if this whole idea of doing a Southern brewery could be really easy to go down that path?
Just sit here and talk shit about Cracker Barrel.
But no, it'd be really easy to make overtly themed Southern kitsch beers.
Oh yeah, you could make it all gimmicky and everything. Yeah,
and one of our challenges is that we're trying to do things that are a subtle, nuanced way, in a way that defies expectations a lot of times. And that's hard. It's hard because it'd be so much easier to go down the big over-the-top flavors or and that nuance, that subtlety, the lack of spices in Carver when you expect them, in all seriousness, that pulling back has been a challenge. It's a fun challenge, but it means that our path to growth is about who we are and why we believe in what we do. This is about our philosophy, who we are and what our philosophy is, because it's not obvious. It takes some time to explain the whole theory about Southern beers and restraint. It's a lot easier to explain in your face than it is subtlety, at least in America. Seriously, right?
Well, America's, bigger, badder, better.
Right.
Yeah, especially with beers. I mean, the American IPA is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, and I think we had been talking about Pop the Cap and all that. I think starting a brewery a few years after working on Pop the Cap, where we worked on lifting the alcohol cap, it'd be easy to go that route. Big, expressive, full flavor, higher alcohol, intense.
Right.
But that was never the issue for me.